lift, I risked a glance. He was still there, in his doorway, a dark silhouette against the gloom of his flat, unmoving, just watching. I pressed the button for the lift, repeatedly. Come on, come on. The doors finally opened. I stepped inside, safe, or so I hoped. The image of his unblinking eyes stayed with me, all day. That night sleep was difficult. Every creak of the building sounded like footsteps. Every shadow seemed to lengthen and twist. I kept thinking about him. Mr. Eldridge. That's what the little nameplate next to his bell said. A very ordinary name, for a very unordinary man. There was something profoundly wrong about him. Something ancient. Something not quite human. I told myself I was being ridiculous. Judging a book by its cover, he was just an old man. A bit eccentric perhaps. But the feeling in my gut screamed otherwise. It screamed danger. It started a week after I moved in, the humming. At first, I thought it was the pipes, or the ancient boiler in the basement. Old buildings make strange noises, I knew that, but this was different. It was precise, rhythmic, almost melodic. But the melody was wrong, off-key. It grated on the nerves. It usually began just after midnight, a low, resonant thrum, coming from next door, from Mr. Eldridge's flat. It seeped through the shared wall. A dull vibration against my headboard. I tried to ignore it. I put in earplugs. The thick, waxy kind. They muffled the street noise, the distant sirens, the late-night revelers, but the humming? It cut right through, as if it was inside my head already. I tried playing music, soft classical, loud rock. Nothing worked. The humming was a persistent undercurrent. It wove itself into every song, corrupting it, making it sinister. Sleep became a precious, fleeting commodity. I would lie awake for hours, listening, waiting for it to stop. It rarely did before dawn. The sound was insidious. It wasn't just a noise, it felt like a presence. It had a quality, a texture. Sometimes it sounded like a distorted chant. Other times like a single mournful note held for an impossible length of time. It made my teeth ache, my skin crawl. I started to dread the nights. The silence of my own flat became a prelude to the inevitable performance from flat 3B. I considered complaining, but what would I say? My neighbor hums a bit too loudly? It sounded petty, childish, yet the impact was profound. I was tired all the time, edgy. My nerves were frayed. I jumped at the slightest sound, a car door slamming outside, a creak from the floorboards above. The world felt sharper, more hostile. And the humming continued, night after night, a soundtrack to my growing dread. It felt personal, like it was meant for me. A message, a warning, or perhaps an invitation. I didn't want to know which, I just wanted it to stop. But it never did, it just hummed, on and on. The lack of sleep made things worse. My eyes were gritty, my thoughts were muddled, and I started seeing things, or maybe I started noticing things I hadn't before. The light under Mr. Eldridge's door, it was always on. A dim, sickly yellow glow. It pulsed faintly. In time with the humming, I couldn't be sure. I tried not to look, but the door was right there, every time I left my flat, every time I returned. An invitation to peek. An invitation I resisted.